which I'm not even going to check the audio levels for because I just feel so confident that it's going to not mess up on me. So, who wants a hero point and recount the adventures that we had 2 weeks ago?
We were trained to be musketeers.
Alright, I'll give you half a hero point for that.
And then our boss's wife came in and made us flirt with her. And then we have to go to a ball.
Alright, I'll give you the whole hero point.
I mean, it was there were prologues, and it was the first episode or the pilot of the TV series.
Yeah, and for some reason the executive said, "I like it," and they bought 13 more episodes. Will we last the entire season? Who knows?
Rivalries were made, friendships were made.
That's true. Some people may or may not have slept with each other. Who knows? It's all
Yeah. I wrote that down somewhere. Where did I write it down?
It's tattooed on my back. Alrighty, so
vicious rumor started by the Castilians.
That's right. Who knows what they're up to?
Uh,
It's the year of our
I forget
Lord.
who I may or may not have slept.
Don't worry, I remember. It's the everywhere else in the world. It's the year of our Lord, 1667. In Montaigne, it's just 1667. Five actually, forgetting Brave Pierre. 5 new musketeers have joined the most prestigious of all Montaigne orders, but you know, the world rolls on without them in the year 1667, which is slowly drawing to a close. Now, General Montague has been stymied in the heartland of Montaigne as he is currently doing battle with the Castilian General El Gato, the cat. And yeah, Montague hasn't made as much progress as he has the last 2 years, so people are a little disappointed in him, but El Gato is a very clever general, and the two of them are sharing a very friendly rivalry at the moment, as friendly as two generals possibly can. Montague actually got very sick this year, and people were afraid he was going to die, but El Gato sent over his personal physicians to cure Montague of what was ailing him. So the two have been, you know, kind of friends ever since. However, things are looking up for Montague as El Gato has been using the very advanced Castilian fortifications to his advantage, but this year Montaigne came out with the world's most accurate and with the longest range cannons to ever be mass produced, and they're being shipped to Castile in mass numbers, so people are very optimistic that this war is going to be finished up lickety-split under the caring hand of General Montague. Despite, you know, with the slowing victories down in Castile, the Montaigne economy has started to slow down a little bit after years and years of explosive growth. So to combat this slight recession, Emperor Leon has established a tax on all salt purchased by citizens, which is very unpopular because it's 1667 and you kind of need to salt everything in order to live. So he's making bank, but all the peasants are very upset with that tax. In the world of art, there is there's 2 plays of note. two plays of note this year. One of them was written and backed personally by the king. Oh, it wasn't written by him, but it was backed by the king. And it was a kind of a satirical piece about Montague, making fun of him that he can't take over Castiel in like 3 years. It had the backing of the king, and a lot of money was thrown after it, and it was closed and shut down within a week, and the writer committed suicide because it was just universally panned by everybody. Noblemen and peasants alike hated it, and the dude was so embarrassed he like couldn't take it. And everybody was asking the king why he sponsored it, and he's like, oh, I thought it was a good idea. However, things are quite different for another soaring star who, I can't really change windows right now because I'm recording, but Richard, what's your sister's name?
That is an excellent question. Let me pull up my notes.
I'm not sure you can you bootleg Salt?
I don't know.
You probably mine it.
Okay,
Drive
so
out of the ocean.
yeah, so her name is. Do you want to know the name her family calls her, or do you want to know the name that she goes by in public?
Yeah, what's her writing alias?
Aura LaRue.
Aura LaRue has this season released a very popular musical that's about the massacre at Le Chateau de Lyon. And it's a very heroic piece about 3 Musketeers coming in and saving all of Montague from a vile populist terrorist called the Crow, I think his name was. No, Vox Populi. I remember because I'm not clever. It's about that. It's very famous with the upper class because, of course, it's about nobles, you know, beating up threats to other nobles and stuff like that. But it's also very popular among the lower class because the Vox Populi is actually portrayed as a very like sympathetic character, and everything he says the peasants really relate to, and but it's almost like satirized so it can get through the censors about it. But the big controversy with the play is that during the villain's big musical number, it gives you like he sings like the step-by-step process of how to make bombs. And everybody's very upset with that, but the writer is apparently a friend with one of the first lieutenants of the Musketeers. And when the minister in charge of censoring all art went to this lady and was like, "Is this gonna be a problem? Is that okay?" The Musketeer was like, "It's fine. There's nothing too dangerous in the information she's giving." So I was like, oh, okay. So you need to pre-order tickets 3 months in advance to get into these showings, and the penny seats are always overcrowded. It's a very popular affair. And in the world of fashion, what's in vogue this month are for gentlemen and ladies to have fist-sized glowing glass orbs adorning their dresses and tuxes. So that's exciting. Which is important for you guys to know because you are in fact preparing for a dance. A ball, as it were. Yeah, it's probably a good play. You know, it's a lot like Thoroughly Modern Millie. But with
I figured it'd be more like Oklahoma.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, never mind. Our first scene is kind of a miniature scene, but Leon seeing that Anne put it in the ear of Jean-Marie that she wanted you guys to kind of be a group in the near future because she needed you for some stuff. So with that in mind, you guys have been kind of assembled into a squad, and with that comes the need for a leader, and Jean-Marie has appointed Leon as he's promoted Leon to sergeant, and he'll be kind of the leader of this group for his service in the military prior and his reputation. So suck on that, players. I'm making one of them above you. But you know, you guys are still, like, he's the first among equals, and being sergeant really means that he takes care of all the paperwork and relays orders and stuff like that.
Yeah. Fun times.
But of course, as you guys are appointed, are invitees and guests of honor of Anne du Montaigne's first ball to be held in Le Chateau de la Vie, since the Chateau de la Soul has been founded. She has gifted all of you with her personal tailors and wardrobers to, you know, give everybody some nice outfits for this here ball. And the first person who she drags into her massive dressing room is, of course, Leon. So once again, Leon, let's get a tight little description of what our boy looks like.
Not 4, but 5.
Uh-oh.
8. Yeah. Leon is a wiry young man. Yeah, that is the image of him. With a jaw-length dark hair and dirty French goatee mustache combo, whatever it's called.
Alrighty. And Anne is a 5'5", which, if you think about it, is just incredibly tall for the time. She's a 5 foot tall blonde young lady in the height of Montaigne fashion. And she leads you into a dressing room with just rows and rows of fabric and doilies and lace and all sorts of things, and throws you to the fellow with the tape measure who starts taking all your measurements. He's like, yeah, 5'8". He's right. Unless you said 5'6", which I feel like you did.
I honestly don't remember.
7 feet tall, very big man. And two other ladies come over here and start comparing fabrics with your skin and asking Anne what she thinks, and she tells them that you're gonna be dressed up in like a faux military uniform, because that's gonna be your theme. You know, you're the sergeant now. You're a hero of the War of Southern Aggression, so they have to really play that up. So you're getting the yellow pips, any medals you got from your time in service are gonna pin on your chest, blue and gold. It's gonna be it. She asks you if you have a family saber or anything like that you can bring along.
I have my sword I got from graduating from Mont d'Ivor.
Yes. That'll work. And so, for like 15 minutes this goes on as she's measuring you and everything, and Anne's a very nice girl, but she's got kind of a bad reputation for never shutting up. And you're really starting to see why, as you're not sure she's taken a breath of air the entire time that you've been under her care. But eventually, after she finishes drawing out all the plans, and by her finishing drawing out all the plans, I mean she has servants who does that, and she just talks the entire time. She'll ask you if she should have Sabine to match you in dresses today, and she'll give you a saucy pointed look.
Okay.
No, it's a question. Do you and Sabine want to be matching today? Oh, romance. Okay. She excited. She flies out the room with her to grab the next person. She's very excited about that.
Sabine has no knowledge of this yet.
Sabine, no memory of past events. And as
Same with Leon.
you're like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't know what you're talking about.
Make the whole squad match. Makes sense.
And as you guys have kind of been assigned to Anne for whatever nefarious work she has going on, you guys have been given barracks within the prestigious halls of Chateau de la Vie. Renee and what's his face? Leon, the guy I just had a scene with. Two of you are shacking up. Sabine gets assigned with another. There's like a few. The chateau is big enough, and there's few enough musketeers that work in Charus that you are all assigned like bedrooms within the chateau. But you gotta share them with other people. So, what's Sabine's roommate's name? Boom! On the spot. Alright, I'll come back to this, but I want the answer now. But importantly, and the only reason I'm talking about this is because Armin made the very strange decision to live in an attic. So Armin, thoughts on why you did that?
It's really the sort of space that he was used to, being the poor street kid. Always found a corner somewhere to call his own, and so when they brought him to the somewhat crowded chateau, he just naturally gravitated to such a space.
And you know what? If there was a hutch underneath the stairs that locked from the outside, I'd have slept in that. Well, Armin is getting comfortable in this cramped one-room attic of a room, which you discover you'll be roommating with a stray cat that... Not a stray cat, but one of the cats that lives on the property of the chateau. What's that cat's name?
Chaucer.
Hell yeah. And as you're getting acquainted with your room, giving Chaucer a sly look as he eats a mouse or something. Whatever a cat does. Sits there inferior to any dog possible. The door is opened up, and with a hat in his hand, Jean-Marie comes strolling into the room, looking around, inspecting it. Everything's very dusty. He runs a finger along. You're gonna need to dust this place.
Armand looks around, sort of sighs. May we? It is quite a mess.
And tossing that hat around nervously in his fingers, he points to the cat and says, we can get rid of that for you if you want to relocate it somewhere else.
Oh, no. He goes after the mice.
Yeah, right. Right, the mice, good. Yeah. He'll sit down next to your, or he'll sit down on your bed. He'll go, listen, I'm not, I, the character Jean-Marie, and I, the GM, Christopher. I'm not very good at this, but, I just want to say I'm proud of you, Armin.
Armand swells a little bit with pride at that. Looks at his feet. Back at the commandant. Well, thank you.
He said, nobody, including myself, really thought you'd make it this far, so your punches your shoulder. Doing good. Yeah. And he'll,
Well, Armand is visibly pleased.
he fiddles around with something in his pocket. And he'll take it out, and it's some sort of soft fabric-like thing, like a napkin or something. He says, when I invited you in, I had a guilty conscience of some of the stuff I've been doing lately. So I thought you'd be a way for me to atone by that. But I see you've really grown into a fine man, and he'll give you the cocktail napkin that was in his hands, and as you look at it, you see that was the like letter of recommendation that he wrote for you to first get into the academy.
Armand quickly reads through that. Almost blushes. Many thanks.
And he'll give you a nod and said, well, I have to go. As he stands up, he sees something on a dresser, and he furrows his brows, and he picks up a deck of cards that's on your dresser, and he says, hey, no gambling in the chateau. And he'll throw the deck of cards at your chest, and it stays put together enough, but still hits your chest and kind of breaks apart. He says, you're missing some cards. And he walks out. And you think, what in the world is he talking about? And then as you look down at the deck of cards that just got thrown at your chest, it's an ordinary deck of cards. But wait, that's no ordinary deck of cards. You actually, they're not playing with a full deck. Give yourself a hero point, Richard. As you look at the deck, you actually recognize this very deck. This is a Sorte deck that, forgive me for my absent mind, what's the name of your Fate Witch booty?
Zarita Pirelli.
Yo, I knew it was Zarita, I didn't trust myself. This is actually the very same Sorte deck that she used to read people's fortunes in the streets with. Only as you turn them over, you realize that every card has a back, but the front of every card is completely blank. And you think, that's weird.
Indeed.
As you quite honestly have no recognition of how those cards got on your deck, or on your drawer.
Or where the faces went.
Yeah, even stranger still. So, there's something for you to chew on. Meanwhile, a very sick Renee who might not be able to make it to the party today sits in a chair as and gabs about life and such. How are you doing, Richard?
I'm hanging in there.
How's Renee doing? What's going on with her?
Sorry, what was that?
How's Renee doing?
You know, he's doing all right. You know, he's you know, proud that he finally made through his musketeer training, and he's probably got, you know, kicked back, got a paper in his lap reading about his sister's new questionable play. You know, maybe rolling his eyes at the description of it.
Mm-hmm. Especially, you know, that's a pretty insensitive of her, considering everything involved with
Yeah, I know.
your origin story. What's she thinking? But yeah, Anne is she really likes the idea of dressing you in red today. That's gonna be the color of your suit. You know, most of it. Red's gonna be the big theme. 'Cause it's gonna accent your skin really well. And red's been out of fashion for like 5 years. So you're gonna look like a total outsider and very foreign, and all the old ladies are just gonna eat you up.
Well,
Red is
all right.
red.
I was kind of thinking more blue since we're all, you know, musketeers. But if you think this is better, I will trust your judgment on these things.
Oh yes, please leave everything to me.
Okay.
And she says, you should be, this entire ball is going to be a regular, how do you say your name? I don't want to say it like a
Renee.
person. Not Renee, don't give me that. How do you say
Beaufort?
your last name?
Beaufort.
Beaufort. It's going to be a regular Beaufort reunion. You know, of course, Luis will be there. But most importantly, Javier, with all his money, will also be attending the chateau today.
Great.
So if you could, you know, for the good of the Order of Musketeers and for the chateau, if you could convince your cousin to throw out some money in generous donation to his cousin's livelihood, we'd appreciate that.
Well, to be honest with you, my cousin and I don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I will see what I can do. No promises, though.
Well, Renee, I dare say that you will find when the Emperor's daughter is helping you out with things, suddenly people see things your way a lot more often.
Fair enough.
And then she gives Renee a pat on the head, sends him out the door, and brings Sabine in. Sabine from Star Wars.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Bonjour, bonjour. Have a seat.
As I do so.
Very exciting. All right, take your seat. So, we're gonna be dressing you to match Leon today. It's gonna be very exciting.
As I arch my eyebrow, oh really? Why is this, madam?
Oh, she just throws her hands everywhere, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, the lovebirds in the audience are gonna love it. Romance within the Musketeers, forbidden love, the best of all kind.
Wait.
It's gonna be
What?
good stuff."
Is this a act that you want us to put on?
And she goes, "No, of course not. Love in its purest form is all the motivation you'll need." And
Wait,
she
what?
grabs some fabric, and she's like, "Oh
Love?
yes, the boys have been all aflutter with you and Leon's saucy affair a few days ago."
What now?
And she goes, "Oh well, Leon all but confirmed it today."
He did?
He implicitly said that he wanted the two of you to be dressed to match each other.
Maybe we should bring him back in so we could talk this out?
And she just goes, "Oh, I have no time for that. I must get you dressed. I still have two other
color is
musketeers."
what color is he wearing? Because I'm going to decide if we're matching, I'm going to decide what we're dressed like.
We're going for a very, dress military look for him. Blue and gold, of course.
All right. Okay, good. Approved, but... Well, I had some thoughts of my own on the gown that I should be wearing.
All right, let's hear it.
As I go over some details, because I don't actually have any thoughts. I'm not a seamstress in real life, so...
Dude, I would have just been knocked on my butt if you were like, all right, so I need taffeta, 2 yards. I want the bustling to be 2 inches up.
I don't want the bustle to be too big. I can't upstage anyone because I am a musketeer. We're working on a budget here, obviously.
Yes, of course.
I mean, we've got to try to get some of those ball things that people are thinking. But I'm planning towards the future. Next season, I think we should make a statement.
Oh yes, of course. Feathers are supposed to, with the winter coming, it'd be very big. Feathers and fur. It's gonna be everywhere. Yeah. So
well, no, not that season. Next fashion season, darling.
Oh, right, gotcha. Aren't I a fool? So the two of you are passing back things like that, and furiously the sketch artist is just going to work, trying to get something workable here. But eventually, you are satisfied with this product, and you nod your head.
It'll do, I suppose.
Excellent.
Especially if I'm hindered by Leon.
That's right. Getting that plank of wood on your arm. Oh man.
I wouldn't say plank of wood. This is just news to me that he feels this way.
Oh yes, he wouldn't stop talking about your eyes. It was, oh man.
Really? He seems incredibly shy to me. So he's very quiet and reserved.
You know what they say about the shy ones.
I mean, I can ever barely get him to dance when we go to balls.
All right, listen, I have more musketeers to dress. Get out of here.
As you will, madam. Curtsy, leave.
Then it is Anne and Pierre. So Pierre walks in, and just kidding, nobody cares about Pierre. Anne and Armand.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour. So, not gonna lie, really don't have any ideas for you because you're poor, and I don't know
Suddenly feels
what
like
your
Kenny from
culture's
South Park.
about. So, any suggestions you have, I'll hear.
And so Armand explains that he's favored, is partial to earthy tones, practical garments, not overly fond of fist-sized blown glass balls.
Oh, and she turns green. It looks like she's been on a sea voyage. It's horrible. But she puts a smile on, and through gritted teeth, she's like, right, okay. And she looks to her seamstress in the sketch drawer, and they're just like, I don't know. She's like, okay, Armin. Thanks a lot. I think I really have something to go on here today. I truly do. We'll get back to you. We'll make you beautiful. Oh my gosh, there's just too much writing going on there in chat. not sure I can keep up. I like Leon sneezing. That's good. So, before our heroes dramatically and heroically prepare to go to a ball, are there any scenes with anybody that anyone wants to have at any time? Because now would be the time to go about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to approach Leon.
I think that's a good idea.
You don't have an office, right? You're still just
Yeah, he's
sort of
still
our
a
level.
non-commissioned officer.
No, I don't have an office. It's just
So I'm gonna find you wherever. So, Sergeant, apparently we're supposed to be paired up and dressed to match one another.
Oh yes, I told her to make the whole squad match.
No,
She just
that is not what she said.
Well then,
So apparently, you've been talking about my eyes to her.
not at all.
Okay. All right.
I told her to make the whole squad match.
Well,
We were supposed to be going as a squad.
She took that to mean as just me and you matching. So she wants us to play up that we're lovebirds.
Well, obviously we can't have that.
Well, there's she heard it from some other musketeers apparently.
Why would they be talking about that?
Well, remember when we graduated and the night's a bit fuzzy?
Vaguely.
Right. As we just sort of like pause and look at each other awkwardly and
Right, well then we'll just have to squash these rumors somehow.
Dramatic fight at the ball.
well, we don't want to cause a scene.
You're right. Perhaps we should just make sure we keep our
Play it
distance.
by ear?
That's probably the safest. Or perhaps we should talk to the captain. See if he can rein in his wife.
Do you... Now, Leon, do you really think it's wise to talk to the captain about something his loving wife said in confidence? Who do you really think he'll side with?
You're right. You don't need a horse, do you?
Well,
You
I
got
mean,
one of your own. I'm going over these squad requisition forms for our initial setup, and I'm pretty sure Armand doesn't own his own horse.
I think
Do you?
I don't know if I have a horse. Probably not.
We'll
I
just
think
say
Armand stole
no.
one from the Castilians.
That's true, Armand. There's a herd of Castilian horses in Charus now.
Oh, that's right. Are you talking about in general or for the ball? Because
No, it's just
you're gonna need a carriage for the
initial
ball.
setup. Do you mind taking care of that? Because I have no idea what sort of carriage we should get, or where we would even.
Well, I'll need your written authorization, of course.
Yeah, sign this blank requisition form.
Yeah, let's just I need one carriage at I don't even remember what our address is.
Le
Hey,
Chateau.
1604 Pennsylvania Avenue. Very weird for a Montaigne.
I think it's Rue de Pennsylvania. I don't know what Pennsylvania is, but okay.
Sounds Eisen.
Yeah, somewhere in Eisen.
All right. Well, I'll take care of the carriage. And okay. All right. Better brush up on your dancing.
I doubt if it's gotten that rusty. Oh, you know what? Those rumors probably came from the fact that you've been helping me with my brother's schemes so
Well,
often.
I mean, possibly, but I also go to balls with Renee, and no rumors have sprung up about us that I know of. Yeah.
More rumors.
Ah.
More rumors everywhere.
Well, let's hope none come up then.
And tragically, Richard, we didn't have a chance to discuss who Miss X is, so that'll have to remain a mystery for another time.
Indeed.
But yeah, Renee leaves the chateau, and then, you know, a few hours later, just comes with a much fatter wallet than when he left.
And some tobacco.
And some tobacco. How he pulled it off is anybody's guess. And Armand was playing with a cat. So with that, is there anything else anybody wants to take care of? So Richard now has 1 wealth for the remainder of this session.
Sweet.
But if nobody else has any business, we will continue on to the end of the week, where Chateau de la Vie is fortunate enough. This will be the whole ball is a collaborative effort between Louis Beaufort and du Montaigne to as an effort to kind of revitalize the old chateau, because it's fallen into disrepair ever since Chateau de la Soul has been established. So they Anne's kind of job within the country is to like be a spy for her father, for all like the lower nobles and everything like that. So she has a very good relationship with all of them, so she kind of gathered up everybody who's not really affluent enough to get invited to parties at Chateau de la Soul, and invited them for a shindig here, and kind of an effort to raise money for the old chateau and make all those people feel important. And you know, it's a very good idea, in my opinion.
It's like the minor leagues of balls.
Yeah, pretty much. Where, you know, the stakes, if you mess up dancing, you don't get banished to the outskirts of the country. Which, if you ask me, is a major plus for not going to one of the Emperor's balls. So all of you are dressed up in a very nice clothing, as it were. A dress and 3 outfits. All of you have a few fist-sized glass balloon orbs on your outfit, except for Armin, who's just too much of a rebel to fit into fashion, so he just has a basic brown and gray sort of uniform. But you know what? Very handsome, not gonna lie. Anne's seamstress is very skilled. Sabine and Leon, of course, are matching wonderfully. And, God, who knows what Pierre is wearing? He's just... but everybody's outfits are so different that Sabine and Leon, it's just like all the more obvious that the two of them are matching, just because everybody else's is so weird. But you know what? Looks good. Looks good. What else am I trying to talk about? Oh yeah, everybody's given their own, everybody's put in a carriage, very nicely, drawn by 6 white horses. Only the best. Except for, of course, Anne and Jean-Marie are both in their own carriage. And they're leading this motorcade as it arrives at the chateau. Nobody really knows. You guys drove around the block for a few minutes to make it seem like you're arriving at the chateau, but you live here, so. But you gotta keep up appearances.
Get in one side of the carriage, out the other. We've arrived.
There we are. Hello, everybody. Anne and Jean-Marie get out, and everybody, if there's cameras, would take pictures of them, but, you know. People are kissing hands and rings and waving and getting their attention, talking to them. Yeah. And then some very uncomfortably dressed butlers, you know the sort, open up your carriages and let everybody out. Who gets out of the carriage first? What's their give us your best, you know, Emmy Award nominees stepping out of carriage.
All right, from inside the carriage, Armand first, then Renee, then Leon has to help me out.
The carriage door opens. Leon steps out. Armand steps out jauntily. Very military-like. And turns and holds the door for those who follow.
You know, what a gentleman, and that really shows that you, like, know your place, you know? Hey, everybody eats it up. They really like it. Because, you know, everybody's been hearing about the peasant who became a musketeer, so they're all a little afraid of you, but, you know, showing that difference to everybody really puts everybody's mind at ease.
I guess I'll gesture for Renee to get out and then follow him and help Sabine.
I'm sorry, my brother just came in and made a super racist joke, and I couldn't hear what you said over there, his laughter. Could you repeat that, please? I heard my name.
I was just saying I'd gesture for Renee to get out of the carriage before help Sabine.
Oh yeah, totally getting out of the carriage.
I feel like Renee gets out the most skilled of anybody, because he's been to high-class functions before.
Oh yeah, this is Husseina's first rodeo. In fact, I was going to ask you here in a minute if he recognizes anyone here.
Oh yeah, in just 1 minute, we'll get to faces and people at this party for you to rub elbows with. And finally, yo, Joe, give us the big reveal of our heroine.
Yes, so I take Leon's hand and, you know, step down and do the whole fan whip to, you know, conceal face and wave it in typical aristocratic manner. Same my first rodeo. I've accompanied others to such things.
That's true. Look at her grace. Look at that nose. Very fine breeding. You can tell. She's a noble. Look at that bearing. That Leon fellow, very lucky. Etc., etc., etc. As Chris takes us to a different page. Boom shakalaka, look at that tight ballroom. Why'd they ever leave Chateau de la Vie? Who knows? And with the parade of nobles and mucky mucks, you guys are led into the grand one of the 3 grand ballrooms of Chateau de la Vie, which is a sometimes this place acts as a theater, but sometimes it doesn't. But you guys are let in. There are many finely dressed people. All of them Armon, have fist-sized glass blood orbs on their outfit. And suddenly you feel just a little bit silly for being too cool for school, don't you? Let's see. It is there's 2 rows of balcony, 2 stories of balcony, but the level 3, that's off limits. But level 2, it's got nice little tables and stuff set up for people to who want some privacy to dine and eat as they please. The dance floor is full of just the most beautiful people Montaigne can offer. And the outside walls are all lined with decadence with a capital D. Every type of food you could imagine, even a few that you wouldn't want to imagine, are there. The turducken, oh, they've got 2. But there's all sorts of, nice jams and sweets, and there's a fountain of champagne that is made to point out who the alcoholics in this party truly are. Very clever. But the big centerpiece of the entire room is that the roof is usually a glass roof, but they took that out just for this event because Anne's a crazy person. Leon Nicole looks for some stuffed larks. They've got so many stuffed larks. Leon, you wouldn't believe it. The glass roof was taken out, and actually there are like several very large panes of colored glass, like hanging by wires from the ceiling. And it's a full moon today, and the moon's like right above the chateau, so the dance floor and a lot of the auditorium are bathed in like weird light cast from these colored green panes. It looks very cool. And you're all very uncomfortable as you see them kind of just swaying back and forth overhead. These heavy, heavy glass panes suspended by nothing more than mere wire. Anyway. Renee's really like, yes, another noble party. I'm happy to be here. How does Armand, what could possibly go wrong? I don't know, Rob. How's Armand feeling about his fish out of water story coming full circle?
He's not entirely comfortable with the finery and all the hoi polloi. He's sort of skirting the fringe of the assembly. He's sort of warming up to it, I suppose.
And Miss Anne Montague she's a very nice person. She's never been anything but nice to all of you. But as you're kind of seeing this is like, she has a very bad reputation among the peasants and lower folk. And you kind of get that. She's a very nice person, but whenever like people talk about the decadence of like the noble people, her parties are almost always pointed out, because this is crazy, and this is like one of her smaller functions, and it's just like lined with like crazy ridiculous food. Most of this isn't gonna get eaten, and it's all gonna get thrown out, and it's just, very, very bad. The stage right there, it's full of it's got like a 12-piece orchestra giving us some jaunty jams. Oh, hey, actually, wait, that's not music for this scene. Just because it says Ballroom Blitz doesn't mean it's ballroom music. And yeah, everybody enters the auditorium and is introduced as the 5 newest Musketeers for this generation. Pierre introduced first. He gets everybody loves Pierre. Am I right? I don't think a single person in this room could say that they don't like Pierre. Definitely our most memorable character we've met so far. And then when they introduce Renee, They're like, ooh, and hailing from the mysterious and foreign realm of the Crescent Empire, Rene Beaufort.
I was born like 30 miles away.
My cousin literally is running this thing. No, but you know, you gotta hype it up, and you know, they introduce Armand from the mean streets of Charus, a man of simple but some might say noble bearing. Here to serve all of you, Mr. Armand. Everybody goes, yes. Very middling applause for Armand. Everybody loved Renee, especially the older the lady was, the more they liked Renee. I dare say. So he's got a following. And then finally, as the dual package, proving that romance can truly spring up in the most unlikely of places, together since boot camp, a love story in the making. Leon Nicole and Sabine. What's Sabine's last name? What's Sabine's fake last name? Montblanc.
Well, Sabine.
In an aside to Sabine.
Yeah. Sort of cut off. I mean, Sabine's the fake name, but Sabine du Mont Blanc.
Of course. And everybody goes, woo! And they put their fingers in the mouth.
I like take his arm really quick. I'm like, all right, gonna have to guide him through this probably.
Look at him, he's so shy. Don't you just want to put him in your pocket? Oh god, what does he say in the frogs? Don't you just want to eat it, put him on toast and eat him for breakfast?
Leon will blush a little bit. He's not, despite being a noble, he's not accustomed to volumes and stuff. Family's not very, Come on. And then I'll shrug.
As I like, do a wave and whip my fan out again.
Yeah, I think when everybody hears the Nicole name, they're like, there's some murmuring about that. It's a pretty old name. Haven't heard that in a while. Yeah. He's one to watch. This boy Nicolay, he's going to go on to do the great things with his life. And now the party goes in full swing as many more nobles and famous people are introduced and led into the ballroom, and they go on and go forth. But now it's really your guys' time to rub elbows with the rich and the famous of the Montaigne life. Yeah, one day I'm just gonna rename it Montague just to save myself some trouble. So, Mrs. Everybody kind of has their own admirers and stuff like that as things are going on. This is really a time for you guys to take charge of your own destiny. But there's a few things, some people of note for today's party are just a few things to do. There is one of the major nobles who got invited to this because he just attends everything. Is a Rene Duval, who is, in no kind words, a crippled young man who just sits at a table and converses with people. He's kind of famous because he used to work for the Musketeers in a advisory role. Sabine has an admirer on the dance floor who, one of his servants approaches you at some point during the party and says that, oh my Lord Jesus in heaven, I forgot to mention, this is a masquerade party, so of course I need everybody to internalize things for a few moments. and think about what their mask looks like. Of course, all of you are at an instant disadvantage because they effing like announced who you guys were, so it takes a lot of the fun away from you guys. But all
What?
the
I totally had a mask on. Man.
but you know, all the pervy old people. Oh man, they're in their element.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, Richard.
Can I make a offer a suggestion, maybe?
Sure.
What if
Suggest.
they just didn't tell us it was a masquerade ball, and we just showed up without our masks, and we looked around and we're like, oh, all right then.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that even better. And you turn around and look at Anne like, what the fuck? And you see that she has a mask on, and you're like, double what the fuck? Thrown to the wolves. But yes, a young gentleman wishes to share a dance with the Sabine du Mont Blanc. What else? Jean-Marie, at some point, would like to invite Leon to his table for the two of them to share a drink together. And Renee has simply no end of suitors out on the dance floor who are asking to share his hand in a dance. And finally, Armand, you know, Anne du Montaigne straight up is going to ask Armand if he'd like to dance with her. But all those characters are for any of you to introduce, or any of you to interact with. But
Well, it would be horribly rude for Armand to refuse to dance with the lady.
Sweet. Well, you know what, Armand? You two will dance. Yeah, let me just hear what everybody would like to do, and then we'll go on with some scenes.
Leon would definitely take refuge. Jean-Marie, being of the military bent, that's the crowd he's comfortable with.
Perfect. And wherefore goeth Sabine?
Well, I mean, you said a servant approached me, right?
Yes, indeed.
Well, of course I'd have to, meet with whoever has invited me over. But, I gotta find a fucking mask. Like, while at this party. And just like, mine now.
Oh, thank you for the mask. And, Renee, where's he heading to?
I don't need to thank someone to take it from them.
Right. Defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
And this is my mask now. Period. Good day to you, sir.
I said good day.
Yeah, so what's Renee up to? What's he planning?
Well, he's got marching orders to go try to bilk his money out of giving some, or his cousin out of giving some money. But since everyone's masked and whatnot, it might be a little difficult to do since there are like hundreds of people here too. But knowing his cousin, he's probably going to come over at some point in the night to like gloat a little bit. So what he's going to do is he's going to maybe dance with a few old ladies, get them excited about giving some money to the Musketeers. And then he's probably going to, after a few dances, he's going to go sit down with the crippled guy you mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. Just short of, shoot the breeze with him.
Okie doke. Sounds good to the person who is me. We're actually going to do Renee first, and he's gonna get 2 scenes. Way to go, Renee!
Awesome.
If he lives, if Richard doesn't just like drop dead in a second.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling better. I don't think I'm gonna vomit at this point, so I think we're good.
That does sound good. I like the thought of people not vomiting.
Yeah, you and me both.
So, Mr. Renee, you are dancing with some old ladies who are just like, oh, tell me about the Crescent Empire, you know? What sort of lies do you make up, as if you know what it's like?
Well, I guess that depends on whether or not he and his family ever went over there as like for their job or for like a vacation or whatever.
Hey, I'll leave that up to you.
Okay, well, let's say he's been there, but we'll say it's been like he hasn't been since he was real little,
Okay.
like 10 or so. So he's probably gonna do some like give her some vague stuff that he kind of remembers.
Yeah, from the way you
Yeah,
described your mom, I got the feeling that she wasn't like super into the Crescent Empire or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna be like, oh, they dress like such and such, they're I actually don't know much about the Crescent Empire because I only have the core rule book. So I'm just gonna make up stuff and use the actual Ottoman Empire, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so yeah,
They take Feyan prisoners and cut off their genitals and make an army out of them.
Yeah, totally. They allow free religion and such, but you have to pay more money or pay higher taxes. The turbans are in fashion, as are beards.
Oh,
But
so
that's all the
mysterious.
boring stuff. Yeah.
And is it true that you fight with a curved sword? We've heard stories.
Oh, or am I not wearing it, Chris?
Oh, if you want to, yeah, sure.
I assumed we all carried our weapons, unless there's like some sort of rule against carrying weapons into masked balls.
There probably is, but for you and Leon specifically, Ant was like, they need their swords to complete their outfit.
Okay, but yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
I'll totally be willing to show it to any of the old ladies who want to look at it.
very nice, very nice. And they're all appropriately wooed, and they're like, oh, so foreign, so delicious. But eventually, a fine, tall, like praying mantis-like young woman approaches you and takes hold of your hand and swoops you up into a dance before you can slap her away. And so I want to hear what Renee would do for a dance, specifically what skill he would use. And there's so many options, Richard. So many.
Well, obviously, boating.
I mean, sure, man.
No, let's see here. I guess we'll go with I almost want to say finesse and let's see here. Let's go with finesse and athletics. Guess that'd be the obvious choice. I almost wanted to say finesse and ride, but let's not go there just yet.
That's for later.
Exactly.
That's when you use a
so
hero
do you want
point.
me to roll? Do you want me to roll that here, or do you want me to roll it in the program thing we have?
You know what? I'm gonna make a big mistake. I'm gonna trust you. Just let's roll in the program for the
It's
sake
so
of
much
expediency.
I believe I add one to each die because of my academy training.
Of course. Dancing was obviously on the table.
Did you get that first time using that skill die?
Yep, but thank you for reminding me about that.
Did you add any flair?
Not really, but it's I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this isn't super important, so we'll just continue on with 3 raises.
Hey,
Everything's
she got 3 raises too.
How many dice do you have left over? Because he could buy them.
That's an excellent point. Let's see here.
Does it tell you?
I'm seeing 1.
Sweet. I'll take it. Why not? Why the hell not? I want you guys to
Awesome.
look good. So, you two are dancing, and she's making small talk with you as you guys are just circling around the dance floor very, very skillfully. One might say very, athletically. So I'll take one race from the both of yous if you want to actually be a coordinated dancer.
That sounds good to me.
Alrighty. So as she dances, she says, "My, it's very nice to finally meet a Beaufort who, doesn't have such a big gut that he can't possibly keep up with the other dancers." Any relation to esteemed Javier?
He is my cousin on my father's side.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that you share that relation.
Yeah, he nods. Yeah. But let's talk of happier things. Tell me about your family.
And the two of you kind of spin around for a second. She goes, "Oh no, I'm not. I don't think I'm done with quite done talking about your family." And as you guys are dancing, she's like, "So tell me, just what is it about the Beaufort name that attracts such a strange and eclectic bunch of people?" And she's gonna use both her raises to deliver onto you 2 flesh wounds, where the flesh is your emotion. As you suddenly realize this lady might not have completely good intentions for you.
Okay.
And so now this is sort of a social combat that Renee has found himself in. So, feel free to use your raises to, do her social harm, or, even negate those wounds with a clever retort or something like that.
Oh.
Or, take it on the chin and keep dancing like a champ. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that maybe he uses this opportunity to I don't know how fast this dance is, but if it's particularly quick, he's going to use it as an opportunity to throw her up in the air and catch her.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, maybe sort of change the subject that way.
And with that, the dance reaches. You know what? When you rolled athletics, I was like, he's gonna end up catching a girl. I just knew it.
You know so well, Chris.
With the crescendo, you kind of throw her up in the air and catch her, and everybody goes, "Oh!" All the old ladies are like, "Renee is just the effing best." As everybody.
We're gonna donate so much money.
Oh yeah, Renee's gonna be very popular at the auction tonight.
Wait, what?
What? Who knows? It's like a fireman auction where you get to date one of the Musketeers for the night. Didn't Anne tell you guys anything?
I guess not.
But back at the table, we see, and at the table I mean Jean-Marie's table, where he is currently pouring a glass of brandy for himself and Leon as Miss Anne du Montaigne is applying some makeup to the part of her face that is not in a mask, and she looks over at Leon and points over to Renee, who just effing threw a woman up in the air and caught her like a Russian, like Baryshnikov. And she puts a hand up to her mouth and says, "That is my best friend, worst enemy, Adelaide Fasquelle. She is the worst rumor monger in all of Montaigne." And she smiles deviously at you, Leon, and says, "I invited her here to make fun of all you musketeers, so, you know, just prepare yourself."
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I thought that we discussed that the entire squad was to be dressed in matching outfits.
Oh, no. I thought we had an understanding. I just, you know, you and Sabine, I thought we were very clear. I thought we were on the same page here, Leon.
I'm afraid you have misunderstood something. There's nothing going on between me and Sabine.
And she gives you a scrupulous look. She says, "How can that be? I've heard some very detailed rumors. I heard you were lapping at her toes with only adoration in your eyes."
As you may have noticed, I am not excellent in social situations. Older brothers flair for parties, and I assume people have spoken out of jealousy or just plain vileness, creating these false rumors.
And she'll give a nod, and she'll go, "My heart is broken." And Jean-Marie will slide the brandy over to you and says, "All right, Anne, I think maybe you should leave the boy alone." And she'll sigh and stand up, and she'll look to Leon. She says, "All right, but I need, for my own sake, I need you to maintain the illusion for tonight."
Understood, ma'am. And that was Sabine's recommendation as.
And she waggles a finger in the air and says, "Sabine's a very smart girl, very attractive. The Mont Blanc family, very rich." She heads off to the dance floor to rub some elbows. And Jean-Marie takes a sip from his brandy and he says, "I'm very sorry about her."
Take a slightly larger drink and be like, "It's no problem, sir." And if she is as your wife says, then perhaps I should encourage my brother. He showed some slight interest in her.
He says, "Hey, not half bad idea." And so, as the two of you share a drink, he's going to ask you what you think of your fellow recruits out there on the dance floor. I'm thinking about maybe keeping you guys together longer than this ball, so I want your opinion on them.
In what way do you want my opinion, sir? In terms of performance of duties, I believe they're all perfectly satisfactory.
High praise. Do you think they make a good team? I think specifically.
I feel that Renee is a bit of a stuffed up prig, but in general perfectly able to work together, and The other two seem to like him. Pierre does not make much of an impression. In fact, I'm not even sure where he is. I'll glance around.
Oh man,
Pierre.
nowhere in sight.
He's the only one that brought a mask.
It's apparently quite effective.
I would also like to say that your wife did not tell us this was a masquerade. So this social, what's it called? Faux pas? I'm afraid is another one. I guess is another one of her pranks.
Yeah, sorry about that. And he'll go ahead and nod and consider things as he downs his brandy. And out on the dance table.
On the dance table.
Oh man, the worst part is I paused dramatically, so it made it that much more obvious. Out on the dance floor, back with Renee, the music stops as they transition into a new song. And everybody, is looking at you and this young lady, Adelaide's actually, as the two of you are, presumably about ready to do another dance, but she flips out her fan in a dramatic fashion. And everybody goes, oh, because everybody knows that Renee's about to get just like a hella roasting. So everybody kind of crowds around. So,
well, I think it's time for me to take a break. He's gonna bow and head on over to grab a seat.
Just leave her out on the dance floor.
and everybody, very impressed with Adelaide. She didn't even have to say anything, and you were like, "I'm out, I'm out." So everybody kind of crowds around her and swoons over her as you approach young Henri, who will talk to you presently.
Cool.
But at the moment, we head over to Sabine, who is dancing, or not dancing quite yet, but she is.
Yeah, I've been circling around the outskirts looking for, possible unattended mask that I could just pick up that would match my outfit. Can't have it clashing.
Yeah, of course. You find a very fine one.
Excellent.
In 12 minutes from now, you will get slapped by some lady whose mask you stole. But until then, here we are.
No. She could try.
Slapping
And
a
then-
musketeer.
No.
How bold.
No, and I'll make her believe that it was never hers anyway in the first place.
I will brainwash this woman into believing my truth.
I'll just socially shame her, That's what we're here to do, right?
That's right.
Display our skills to get money.
And I apologize for me not being ready for this name. I was going to use a separate window, but then I realized when I record, I can't do that. So, if Sabine would be so kind as to tell me the name of her nemesis, the dude.
Oh, okay. Right. Let's look them up. There's a brother and sister. Oh, wait, they're towards the bottom. Let's see. Leon. Leon Durant.
I'm so happy that there's 2 Luises and 3 Leons in this campaign. I'm very, very pleased with it. It's very popular. Yo, it's the name of the emperor. How are you not gonna name your children after him? If you want to be a proper suck-up.
Leon Durant.
Durant, perfect. I'm gonna write that down on my notebook so I don't have to ask again. Oh my god, what is this pen? If only you saw what I was dealing with.
On the plus side, he doesn't know quote unquote know Sabine.
Hell yeah. My lady
Good thing you found that
Sabine
mask.
du Mont Blanc.
Yeah, I got a mask now, so.
May I make the formal introduction to my master, Leon Durant. And he'll...
My eyes widen a little, like, oh, and luckily, I curtsy before him. It is a pleasure to making your acquaintance, Lord. Did I hear?
yes, indeed. And I don't want to,
Lord
describe
Durant?
this guy too much, but everybody at home, just imagine, like, if a Nazi officer was going to a masquerade party. I just want you to imagine. Imagine that as this guy. And with that image in everybody's mind, let us continue. He goes, yes, indeed. I am a rich nobleman of northern Montaigne, Miss Dublanc. Or Durant, sorry. No, wait. I'm Durant. You are Dublanc. Yo, I am toasted right now. Not even gonna lie.
Mont Blanc. Du Mont Blanc. It is quite forgivable, Monsieur Durant. You are a new party, meeting a new person. It is not the first time I've made a man forget how to speak.
Oh, of that I have no doubt. You are a beauty that truly leaves me without speech. Now, may I ask you for the pleasure of a dance?
Oh, I would be honored.
Okie doke. So let me hear your approach.
All right, so let's see. Well, I'm going to let him think he's. What just happened?
My connection's breaking up. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something on my end. All right, so I'm gonna let him make it look like he's leading and make him, think that he's sort of leading when I'm actually leading, as I guide ourselves like flawlessly. I'm trying to outdo, making sure that we outdance the other people, that people ended up with their eyes on us, laughing at any jokes that he tells.
Okie doke. And what dice are we gonna roll for that? Convince?
I was thinking perform.
Oh, duh. Sounds good.
Panache and perform. All right. Let's see. 4 and 3 bonus 2. Roll. Calculate raises. All right, I got 4 raises. So what are some consequences or opportunities
All
that
right.
you probably should have told me before I rolled?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
The consequences are, how many raises did you get?
Well, I probably shouldn't tell you because that's part of the game.
Okay, fine. All right, the consequences.
I'll gladly re-roll, no problem.
No, that's chill. It takes one to be a good dancer and actually keep up with him. Takes 3 raises for him not to recognize you as the scallywag who plundered the chest of his sister.
Okay. I mean, and him. But.
And him.
Yeah.
But
All right, well,
any other opportunities you want to take are up to you.
All right, well then I'll spend all 4 raises to, succeed in my action and not get recognized.
Excellent. Yes, the two of you,
Also, wait, do I have a thing?
Pardon?
I gotta look at my advantages. Because okay, no, it's temp that I have the quick reflexes on.
Just how fascinating am I?
You gotta activate that. Oh, this is I'm like, as he's like talking about where he's from. Oh, this is very impressive. And then, have you ever attended a ball for the Musketeers before, monsieur?
No, I'm afraid this is my first. My sister and I usually, attend the parties at the Chateau de la Soul, but when we heard that, this party was being thrown, we couldn't help but come to the novelty of it,
It's quite understandable. Obviously, it is my first Musketeer ball as well, seeing as I just graduated.
Oh, yes. A fine congratulations to you, my lady.
My thanks.
May you serve with all the honor in the world. And the two of you take a few more steps, swaying this way, swaying that. People are looking on at you, very impressed with your moves as you're dancing in a way that the artist now known as Sabine didn't dance with. The artist formerly known as Nicolette didn't dance with Leon before, so he doesn't really recognize it. But he's coming near the end of the dance. You kind of hear him kind of like squint his eyes, and he's like, your voice sounds so familiar. I can't quite place it. As he
have you ever attended theater?
He's like, yeah, I love the theater. Totally.
Oh, well, I used to perform. It's sadly I've never, been, the star, the lead, but I've done some background. I've performed in the background. But when I felt the calling for the Musketeers, that I had to leave it all behind.
Ah, I see. That must be a word that. No, I don't think that's it. And then somebody flies in between you, and it's a lady's voice, and she says, "Excuse me, may I have this dance?" And she grabs onto both of Sabine's arms and swirls her around, taking the lead of the dance. And
all right. So I had one leftover die if you wanted to buy it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Excellent.
Oh, yeah. How could I resist, mademoiselle?
It's a young lady in a large black dress of very fine material with lots of white fringe on it. Her mask is all the colors of a rainbow, and it looks like a butterfly. You know what I'm talking about.
I believe I do.
And that mask, you know. That mask completely obscures her face, but those lips, you recognize those.
Those lips, those eyes.
They can belong to no one other than Selena Degati. As you guys are dancing, she says, that's the problem with you Montaigne fellows. You're always trying to figure out who's under the mask, and that takes all the fun away from it.
And I suppose you have some better advice for us.
Oh, yes. And she leans in closely to you, lips almost touching yours, and she says, all the fun of a masquerade party is unknowingly dancing with your enemies, or your lovers. And she looks back at Leon, who's now in the distance, like a lighthouse. She goes, isn't that right, Nicolette? As
I smirk a bit, I tilt my head for as a new dance begins, and try to upstage. Probably knowing her, we're probably just gonna upstage everyone else.
Of course.
Montaigne, so nobody cares.
Over here we head to Armand, actually. As we're going to go to his dance with Anne of Montaigne. So, what's Armand doing before Lady Anne invites him to dance?
Armand is moved away from the outskirts of the gathering, has gotten himself a little closer to the dance floor, loosened up a little bit. He's idly conversing with a couple of other fellows alongside the dance floor as Anne approaches.
Greetings, Armand. How are you enjoying my ball?
He bows deeply. It is a wondrous affair.
Thank you, thank you. So listen, I admit that I put absolutely no effort into your outfit today. So, I'm here to apologize for that, for giving you the honor of taking me out for the first dance of the day.
He looks at his outfit and says, "Well, madame, you did a magnificent job, and I would, of course, be honored."
She says, "I know, Marie does wonderful work, doesn't she?" And she shall take your hand, and she shall escort you out on the dance table for this just like your own private scene with her. So how does Armand dance? What's his poor no money dancing look like?
Well, and because of that, he sort of does the reverse of what Sabine did, where she was subtly leading. Armand will try to very subtly follow Anne's lead, while giving the appearance of, in fact, leading the couple. So he's going to try notice and finesse.
Hey, I like it.
And I have to figure out where the dice roller thing is.
I linked it in my character sheet.
It's true.
Okay. 4 raises.
Very nice. So if you look up at the top of the page, it has. I've done you the honor of listing some of the stuff that you can do. As you're dancing, Anne really likes talking about other people. So she's like pointing out various folks, and this is really Armand's chance to gather information on some people.
Well, very good. He will spend 2 raises to avoid the consequences.
Oh, man.
And then 1 each on info and gossip.
Okay. Who specifically would you like the info and gossip on?
He's very interested in Louise, so he'll hear information about her. And I suppose he'll see what the gossip is on... Is our commandant in attendance?
He is indeed. He's drinking with Leon as we speak.
That's right. So yeah, he'll see what the scoop is on him.
Okie doke. As you're dancing, you guys, get towards the edge of the dance floor, and she's leading you about, and she sees you look over at Louise, who is presently not dancing, but she is talking to none other than Pierre himself, whispering into his ear from across the table, or from across the room, and you go, oh, no. And she'll give you a sweet smile, and she says, You know, Armin, I can't help but notice you, throwing doe eyes at young Luis over there.
Armand considers denying it. Smiles disarmingly. Oui, it's true.
And she smiles and she says, "Oh man, first Sabine, now you. Romance, I love it." And she says, "You know, this whole party, she actually," she looks around, "her and I actually set it up together." Did you like that? But she actually had an alternate reason for setting up, and she points over at an elderly fellow dancing with a younger lady. And she says, "You see that fellow over there?"
Armand looks through the crowd. Oui?
That is the esteemed Judge Gruen. She looks around conspiratorially. She says,
Armand leans in close.
Luis set up this entire party in hopes that he'll resign from his position so that she can assign a different judge to his position. Ooh, position twice in the same sentence? That's poor structure, Anne. She loses a hero point. So, don't be surprised if there's some hilarious and tragic event that happens to Dear. Dear Judge Gruen by the end of the night. And she puts a hand on your chest and goes, "Isn't that absolutely sinister?"
Armand looks serious for a moment. Yes, indeed.
And she waves her hand and says, "Oh, don't worry about it. He's a troglodyte of a man, and we'd all be better off if he died. Anyway." And you guys, dance some more, and you head over to where Leon and Jean-Marie are currently just on their second glass of brandy. Their second tankard of 99% alcohol brandy. And she looks over at him adoringly, and she goes, "Oh, isn't he just the most beautiful man?"
Dashing indeed.
I'm specifically referring to Jean-Marie. If you find Leon dashing, I will not stop you, but I just wanted to clarify my statement before any rumors were spread. And she raises an eyebrow at you and says, "And if any rumors are spread, I shall know the source."
And Armand gives a slight bow. My lips are sealed.
And she so tell me, Armand, are you a sensitive man?
Armand looks thoughtful for a moment. And I think not overly so, milady.
And she puts her hand to her heart and goes, "Oh, my Jean-Marie, he is sensitive with such a pure heart. Sometimes after a hard day's work, he comes home and he just cries in my arms for hours at a time for some of the things he has to do on this job."
Armand is actually somewhat upset by that, but he does his best not to show.
And she looks at you and says, "I hope you're prepared to take on the same level of responsibility that my husband has?
Well, we met. It is with my eyes open that I go into this endeavor.
And she nods happily and gives you a peck on your cheek, and she says, "Now, I must be away. I have handsome men, both young and old, to court."
And he gives her a twirl and sends her on her way.
And Armand, you feel a fierce. Oh my God! There's no way for me to say this without it being just like the worst sentence ever. So I'm gonna say it. You just feel like a very intense vibration in your pocket. Your coat pocket. Got it. Saved it.
So Armand checks his beeper.
Oh, it's no beeper. It's actually that deck of cards that somehow made it into your pocket. Strangely enough. And you see, you see one of the boop boop boop. One of the blank cards slowly starts to form. Going back to the main page, and it's the third arcana, I think, in the 7th sea. Dumb arcana, which is the it's the 4th arcana, which is the Lovers, and it's labeled as and du Montaigne. And you think, how queer, how magical. Oh wait, totally on the wrong page. That's the right page. Perfect. And on everybody in the room kind of stops for a moment as a new player enters the field, and a lovely yes, but in the 7th sea cards are the 4th listed. Into the building walks none other than Louise du Montaigne, firstborn of Le Empereur Leon du Montaigne. She is escorted by the most forgettable man anybody has ever seen in their life. He might as well be wearing a pillowcase. His clothing's so bland. He's just it could be Pierre, who knows? But yeah, she enters, and this is just as Anne is leaving Armand, and Armand can just hear Anne cussing under her breath as she makes her way through the auditorium to greet her sister at her function. And finally, Renee, at long last. Ooh, sorry for just yelling into my mic just then. Renee finally makes it over to young Henri, the crippled nobleman, who gives him a nod, slides him over a drink, and bids him to sit down. And as Renee does, Henri informs Renee that he is not very fun to go to parties with. He taps his head and he says, "I know, because you're sitting with me, and I'm not very fun to be at parties with."
Ah.
Yeah. So what can I do for you, my man?
Well, you can hide me from that young lady, that rumor monger who wants to get her claws into me.
And he nods with a grin on his face, and he says, "Yes, you got out of there just in time. She's kind of an animal."
Yeah. I find people like that, it's talking with them is sort of like wrestling pigs, and that you can win, but you'll get really dirty in the process.
Yeah, it's a weird saying for a nobleman, but I'll take it.
I've led an interesting life.
Yeah, I can tell you were. Oh man, you're just so foreign, aren't you?
Is that sarcasm I detect?
And he says, yeah, actually, I've been around for a while. I knew your father when he was alive and kicking, and he raises a glass and he says, "It's a damn shame that he's dead.
He returns the toast, and
He's a good man, and I hope his son is equally as good of a man."
thank you, sir. I assume this guy's a lot older than me. What is he like in his like 40s, 50s? What's the story?
He's
Chris?
like in his early 30s, actually.
Okay, so this guy, he's not all that older then. So he wouldn't have been one of the guys that helped the emperor rise to power then.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely the old guard that's their bag.
Gotcha. Well, so I guess I'll say to him, so I've seen you around at parties before, but I've never actually gotten to talk to you. I'm glad I stopped by. What do you think of all of this?
The party, it's a great party. I love it. I love watching people dance. The people at the party, they can all go hang for all I care. Bunch of empty-headed, well-dressed idiots.
Hmm. Yeah.
And yourself,
I don't
my
know.
good man?
It's kind of weird to me because this is the first party I've been to since the one where my dad died, and him and 30 other people.
29 other people.
Yeah. I thought I heard a rumor that you were there too. Was that so, or did you just hear about it?
That was not so. I was taking care of business elsewhere in Montaigne, and I didn't hear about it till a few days later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Afraid to say so, though, my friend. Though
Well,
I dare
I
say,
wouldn't be sorry to miss that.
had I been there, I think I could have saved some lives. And he makes his ears go up and down in a very entertaining fashion for someone living 300 years ago. And he goes, "I have a pretty good ear for assassins."
I see. And so he's gonna kind of smile, like he's joking. He's like, "So, do we have any here with us this evening?"
And he'll cock an eyebrow at you, and he says, "I think that girl you were just dancing with, at the very least, she's a killer. Politically." He says, "No, none yet, but I'm keeping my eyes out. I just saw somebody who caught my interest."
I'm sorry, I think my internet just cut out there for a minute. Could you repeat that, please?
He says, "Nobody yet, but I just saw somebody who caught my interest, so I'll keep you updated."
He's gonna raise an eyebrow at that, but he's just gonna kind of nod because, if this guy really thinks there's a threat, obviously he's going to inform the Musketeers.
Of course.
Yeah.
I shall keep you informed. And with that, we shuffle our roles as I burp. And sorry, let me look through my notes real quick. Okay. Leon, as you're coming away from your... Not Leon, sorry. Sorry, Leon. Sorry, Leon. We'll get to you. Don't worry. Leon's coming up.
Okay.
We got a nice, juicy Leon steak on the grill. Armand, as you're coming away from Anne, you finally, at long last, see Pierre stepping away from Lady Louise and making his way across the auditorium. Not towards you, but, you know, if you want to have a word with Pierre, you could intersect. But if you don't, hey, who am I stopping?
Sure. Armand will bump into Pierre.
And as you bump into him, he's like, "What's up?"
Pierre, it's good to see you, mon ami.
Oh, Armand, what? How's it going? How are you?
Well, I'll lapse into southern Montagnese for a moment here. Pierre, you seem as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory. What's wrong?
Oh, I've nothing's wrong. I'm all right. So here's what's wrong. So I was talking to Lady Louise, and she was asking me for a favor, but I'm like, I'm not sure I can go through with it. You know, it's pretty dicey. But you know, she's so pretty, and I just can't I don't want to disappoint her. You know, and you know, she thought I was so capable, and she trusted me with it, and I don't know what to do, Armand. I don't know what to do. But I think I'm gonna do it. But that'd be wrong. But it wouldn't really be wrong, you know, because I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing a wrong thing, but for the right reason. You understand.
Armand nods sagely. Of course. Sort of conspiratorially looks around. Says, what is it that a lady needs done?
He'll raise a hand to his mouth and get really close. And across the room, Leon sees this happen, and with the hand from the mouth, it looks like the two of them are kissing, and he's like, "What? That's weird."
Well, I guess there actually is some romance going on in this.
There is. You're just the most loving group of teammates.
Then I'll go back to drawing on the table. The condensation with Jean-Marie.
He's like, I like it. Lady Louise asked me to. He looks over at the judge Groon and says, she wanted me to think up a way that I could get rid of him politically. And without long bout of silence, he's like, "See? What does that mean? What do I do? It's crazy."
Armand strokes his chin. It's quite a predicament. I will see if I can come up with an idea for you, mon ami.
He goes, "Oh, thank you so... Armand, you are the man." I'm not even lying. She said she'd be so thankful to whoever could let her get rid of that tyrant of a man. Armand. She is so beautiful. I just can't thank you enough. You know, when you get that idea, just let me know. Just let me know, because I really want to impress her. You know, she's got a really rockin', you know, ungenuinely of me to say, thank you, Armand. You're the best. I'll be thinking too. I'll be concocting something. Meet up with you later. And we leave Armand as he goes, interesting. Thankful, he says. And now it's kind of time for Musical chairs, as a few more players have entered the table, and everybody kind of gets a feel for who the people are, and everybody can choose someone else that they want to talk to. Not everybody might get talking to, though, depending on how much time it takes for me to do stuff. Hey, players can even dance with players. I don't care. So let's start with Jared. What's Leon want to do now after Jean-Marie's gotten his input on the team and of some fortifications?
I'm not really sure. Leon is... But Anne did ask him to maintain the fiction that he and Sabine are together. So I guess he'll go cut in at the next song.
Oh, that should be amusing.
Let's see, where is this? Where are you? Where the hell is that name? Dear Selena, in the middle of a dance with Sabine, we'll give Sabine a saucy look and go, I guess the two of us shall have a discussion at a later point. And she gives a generous bow and instantly finds someone else to dance to and dance with and goes off with him. Ciao.
C'est la vie.
I apologize for interrupting your fun, but Anne asked that we maintain this faith.
You couldn't have waited a little longer?
Well, it's too late now.
Fine, God.
So who was that anyway?
That was a very influential person.
Does this person have a name?
Oh, well, that really depends on who she's influencing.
Oh, one of those sort of people.
Excuse me? You have to realize, Leon, that we are... I'm familiar with your past, but... No. Well, yeah, we are, but this is the new battlefield.
For the moment.
And that type of the greatest tacticians that we could ever find.
If you say so.
Well, do you think you could do better?
I confess I do not know much about this
Hobnobbing?
situation.
Hobnobbing.
As you well know.
Exactly. That's why you should trust in me in finding experts that can help us.
Okay.
And how has your night been going?
Dull, which I guess is a good thing.
I suppose.
Well, the music is nice. Though a little southern for my tastes.
Do you see anyone that you could that you think you would be able to handle?
I could probably handle quite a few people here.
All right,
with a blade.
That's not. Consider your tongue the blade.
And as you say
And
that,
then I
that
think we're like,
particular
wait,
phrase,
what? I want to think like we have like a both blushing moments. Like, wait, do I remember something? And then I'm gonna lead you over to like another probably wealthy looking patron woman as courtesy and introduce the pair. It's like, then basically make them go dance.
oh, what
Get
a
to work,
handsome young man! Come here, I will. You remind me of my first husband, Jeffrey. Oh, the dances we had.
Tell me more about Jeffrey, I guess.
Oh, of course, of course. And boy, oh boy, does she go on about Jeffrey for a good amount of time. For Renee, is there anybody you wish to go on to talk to before we head to the next section of the dance?
I mean,
Well,
I've got an idea.
it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna say let's go ahead and talk to my cousin. Yeah, Javier.
Oh, Sabine, do I tell you?
I want that to happen since you set it up.
All right, sure. You know why?
But,
why the hell not?
Renee first.
Mr. Renee, finally you see a gut that you recognize. A gut belonging to nobody but Javier before it. And your eyes both lock eyes at the same moment. And you're like, can I get away at this point? And then he starts coming towards you and you're like, no, I can't.
Ah, Javier. It's good to see you.
Oh, Renee, it's so good to see you as well. You're looking good.
Yeah, same to you. I assume he is anyway. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, he's looking very good. I'm glad to hear that you graduated from the Musketeers. My conscience is significantly weighted after kicking you out on the street and such. I was racked with night terrors for weeks. But everything is everything's fine now, right? Family forever, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Speaking of which, how is the estate treating you?
And he throws a hand up in the air, and business is booming under my professional care. The Buforts have never been richer. Your mother's doing well. Brother's still in exile. Sister, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I was actually reading about her in the paper this morning.
Yeah.
It's that's something, that musical number.
Yeah. I have season box seats for the theater that's being played in, so anytime you want a viewing, just let me know.
I might take you up on that sometimes, Javier. That's very kind of you to offer.
Anything for family.
Anything?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we're throwing this ball to raise money for the Musketeers.
He goes, yes. I hear a bid for money coming.
Yep.
You were supposed to make it more exciting than that. Oh,
well. He gives it some thought for a minute, like kind of stroking his chin. Well, you know that everyone who donates money tonight, they're having those bricks out front. They're gonna have the names of all the people who donated inscribed on the bricks. So, you know, people will forever remember their contribution to the estate and to the Musketeers.
Oh shit! That sounds great. How about you roll a convince for me, Mister Beautiful?
Does it? Oh wait, I actually have ranks in convince. Oh wow, okay. Should I roll that with panache or with wits or what?
Either works for me. Sounded like you're being pretty witty.
What'd you say? All right.
It's whatever you want, though.
Plus, you got your bonus dice in there.
Yeah, I do. Does this count as a, you know, adding in a little flavor there, GM?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you did role play it out, so.
Yeah, but it never hurts to ask.
Yeah. What would be his consequences, opportunities that he could possibly have?
This is just to see how much money his
Okay.
his cousin donates.
I have 3 raises.
300 guilder I will donate to your.
I don't know how much that is, but it sounds good.
It's a. Let's see. It is 3/5 of a nobleman's income for a month. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, that little, huh? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, here I was thinking, you know, he wanted to show off his affluence and how much money he's rolling in, you know, but here he's going to be, you know, outbid by all these old ladies who probably haven't, you know, had a cent come in since their spouses died. But, you know, whatever. I mean, half a month's pay is good too. I mean, you know.
Armand is busy poisoning a judge, which I love. But for the moment, we head to it's time for the big auction. So you guys are.
Well, can we do the lady?
Oh, we'll get to the
slap.
lady. We'll get to the slap.
Okay.
We'll get to NBC's The Slap later. As our boys and girls in blue are rounded up like prize turkeys and put on the stage, and
Except for the one that's in red.
except for the ones in red. And whatever Pierre's wearing. Just a big question mark.
So, Renee, you're the one in red?
I guess so.
That was a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to have like an aside with you. I'm like, did you choose that color knowing you would be auctioned?
Did you know we were being auctioned? Because it kind of came to the news as me.
I didn't even. All I knew was apparently I'm supposed to be a couple with Leon.
Oh, well. Looks like we're all in lost.
I was told we were all
So, do
for him, so.
you know why most don't wear the color red?
I am aware.
Okay. Okay.
But, you know, someone like that tells you to wear red, you don't say no.
Well, you just have to know how to say no and then offer an alternative.
Well, too late now. Let's get back to it.
So first up on the chopping block is Renee, naturally. And, you know, start the bidding down at 100 guilders, and quickly, very quickly, that inflates as all the old biddies, you know, throw their hands up into the air until finally Renee drums up a mighty 1,200 guilder for.
Do you want to make this like a challenge for us to try to like impress people to get more money?
Oh, but the challenge has been had already.
All right.
You just want to fascinate everybody.
Well, no, I mean it's a way to make us feel, you know, do swashbuckling things for a crowd.
Yeah, you know, I understand. I love it. Any other time I do it, but I'm just trying to move things ahead. But in the future, I'll keep in mind that you guys want to do that. Thank you for a suggestion. But Measure Renee gets bid off for a lovely 1,200 guilder, and he casts a disappointed look at his cousin, who offered only 300. For shame.
Tisk tisk.
Tisk tisk. Very embarrassing. Next up is Armand, and they're like, alright, we're gonna start the bidding at 100 guilder. And there's a kind of a long silence. And eventually the guy points at the back and goes, yes, I see 100. Can I get 150? And there's kind of a long silence. He's like, okay. But eventually, young Henri Duval throws his hand up in the air. He says, 150 for the Musketeer. And he goes, alright, I see 150. And there's kind of a silence after that. And he goes, alright, sold to Mr. Henri. And everybody gives a kind of a slow clap. And then it's Measure Leon, who, despite being very sparse during the party, did dance valiantly with an old lady. So, you know, with his clout, being a Nicole, being the sergeant, he drums up a mighty 800 guilder, and gets bid off to a lady in a very nice mask that looks like a fleur-de-lis, and she's wearing a very nice white dress, which lets you know she's got money, because nobody wears white. Because you have to like throw it out the next time you wear it. Goodness. And then like the piece de resistance comes up, and Sabine is put on auction, and people are going crazy. Hands are getting thrown up in the air. Everybody's goes to 500, and 700, and 1,000, and 1,500, and you know, it looks. Oh man, it looks like Leon Durant's gonna bring this one home. But then the lady in black with the butterfly mask throws her hands up in the air, and in a you know, an accented Montaigne announces that she will pay 2,000 guilders for a dance with Miss Montblanc. And everybody goes, oh! Everybody looks around. No one's willing to beat that match. And, yeah. And Sabine gets auctioned off to the lady in black. Very, very exciting, and, people's various, auctioneers go off to, claim them for a beautiful round of dancing. And the first among them is, of course, Leon, who is dancing with a she gives you a deep bow, a curtsy, I guess I should say. She introduces herself as Emily and gives you her hand.
I'll guess take her hand for.
And as you two are dancing, she's like, "So I've heard a rumor of you, Sir Leon of the Nicolay family. The proud scion to a proud house, I should say."
I'm afraid I'm simply the fourth of four brothers, so heir of nothing.
Well, in my opinion, it's always those who inherit nothing that make their family the proudest. The ones who have something to prove.
Well, thank you for that.
It is my esteemed pleasure. I've heard many tales of your battles of the Castilian invasion, and even in your time in the Musketeer, you've made a pretty good name for yourself.
I try. It's what I'm good at.
So is it true that you are a duelist? She says, in a more subtle manner than a person that plays games for fun would say.
Yes, ma'am. I am a graduate of the Montaigne Party School of Dueling Academy.
And she smiles and she says, "Very prestigious. I might venture a guess."
It is. It is the best in the land.
But your talents do not only extend to the sword, am I right? I heard you carry on your family's proud tradition of porte.
I have some small skill with that, but I am not very good with it.
And she smiles and lets you spin her around a bit. And as the two of you dance across, she looks sullen in her mask and she says, "Can I confess to you that I have alterative motives for this dance?"
What would they be, my lady?
I was hoping that I might entreat you to partake in a duel for some associates of mine.
I would be willing.
And she goes, "Excellent, excellent, but I must warn you that the duel is not strictly legal." You need not answer now. I can give you information later. I'm here but to judge your willingness.
I would not be necessarily opposed.
And,
lady.
She'll give you a very broad smile and she says, "Excellent. I will be in contact with you later." She disengages with you and gives you another curtsy and says, "But for now, I am off." Throwing a hand in the air. Tossing you a ribbon from her hair and exiting the auditorium. As we...
Is the ribbon white as well?
It is white as well, yes.
Okay.
As we head over to Sabine, who's presently dancing with, or is preparing to dance with Selena Degati.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes your hand from down the stage and escorts you onto the dancing floor. She says, I told you I'd find a way to dance with you again.
Oh, I never doubted it for a moment, my dear. I must ask, what brings you so far north?
And she smiles and she says, you've been out of the loop for quite a while. I'm here with my husband.
Your husband? What? Come now. This can't be... You can't be serious.
And she
And
gives
who
you...
is the lucky man?
And she says, oh, he's the fat oaf of a man over yonder, picking through the shrimp. And longtime viewers of the show will recognize that man as none other than Javier Beaufort.
Oh my gosh.
And she smiles and says, he's an absolute brute of a man, makes me feel like I'm back home. And she puts a hand to her mouth and closes in with you. Very popular among just all sorts of different people. And she says, he has assassins, you know.
Of course. And why did you see fit to enter this arrangement?
And she puts her hand over her art and gives you just goddamn the most innocent look you've ever seen in your life. And she goes, okie doke, Richard. See you later. I hope you feel better.
Alright, bye guys.
Night.
See ya.
And she says, why, love, of course. Just pure, unbridled love. And she points back over to Javier, who's just like sniffing a shrimp right now. To just that Adonis of a man. She breaks out into a wide smile.
Clearly.
So, what brings you, Sabine, into the Musketeers?
Oh,
Last I checked, you weren't really Musketeer material.
Last I checked, you weren't really the marrying type.
Funny how things come about.
Isn't it? I mean, you've taught me so much, so I just figured I might as well actually learn from some of your lessons. Take advantage of every opportunity, right?
Of course. Have you been to the Mont Blanc estates?
No.
Are they all terrified at the sudden change of their daughters?
I mean, the actual Sabine was quite the adventurous, so as far as I know, they probably aren't that shocked.
Of course. But let us dance. She'll
Let's dance.
hold her arms out for you. And
Okay.
let's hear it. What's your approach gonna be?
All right, so
And there's just like a butt ton of things that you can spend your raises on in this.
So the dance one is just to perform the task, right?
Correct.
Okay. So need one to just succeed, as always. All right. So I think that we're basically probably working together. Like we've danced before, and I think we're trying to. I mean, it's France basically. So, but we're basically trying to all eyes on us and get people like flustered, hot under the collar. Yeah, we're just trying to like seduce the room.
And I just want to say the consequence is that everybody's like, oh my god, those two are so in love.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend a hero point for
Sounds
an
good.
extra die. And all right, then. So I'm thinking panache and tempt.
Sounds good to me.
All right then. What else? Let's see. Do I have any other advantages that will help? No. Fascinate doesn't really matter right now. Okay. Come hither. Don't want to use because no. All right.
I want to impress everybody by leaving the room with her.
Yeah. No. Doesn't make any
Can
sense.
Armand spend a hero point to
Assist?
yeah, to kind of
How you want to assist?
well, he's standing alongside the dance floor and elbowing the guys around him, and wow, look at this. Just kind of whipping the crowd up a little bit.
Two girls.
All right.
Two girls.
Yeah, exactly. That's France. Who cares about that?
It's like, wow, look at the move. Where'd they learn that?
Look at their shoes. Oh my god. So good.
Wow, that's a lot of leg.
They have shoes?
How'd they get the skirt up that high?
I see ankle. Oh my god, this is the best.
All right.
Sounds good to
So-
me, Rob.
Okay. So
And
there's
we have camaraderie, so I think that gives you
4 instead of
4.
3.
Yep.
All right. So I got 5 from 2 hero points. 4 panache is 9. 3 tempt is 12. 13, 14 because of new skill and flair.
Okay.
And so that was plus, and I always get 1 extra raise because I have dynamic approach tempt. Bonus. Roll. Reroll 1 die.
I can't wait for these like 3 raises you're about to get.
All right, let's see. Out of, what was it, 14 dice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No leftovers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 raises.
Oh shit! All right, where are you gonna spend it on?
All right, well, 1 raise to accomplish the task.
Excellent.
What is the second dance?
Oh, that's just so you're like a hella good dancer. That's like the best dance of the night.
So let's see. And question mark is 5. That's a mystery thing.
Yep.
All right. So
That's
1
a
to
like
dance.
universe changing like lore shifts around your dance, basically.
All right. So, 1 to dance, 1 to really great dance, and then 5 for question marks.
All right. So
Well, why not? I'm okay with them being like, oh wow.
excellent. So basically what this comes down to is as you guys are bantering back and forth, you can also pump her for whatever information you want to while this is going on, but just like the general description of it is the two of you are like so obvious in love and you're dancing like this is the best dancing anybody's seen all day. The two of these that are obviously somehow old hats at dancing with each other despite never having met each other. These two souls have just like randomly found each other and just connect very deeply. And the whole production kind of stops for a second as everybody just sees you. Just makes way for these two guys, these two girls, just These two dudes playing two girls dancing with each other. That's a, just do it with such emotion and such flair that everybody just stops and looks. A few people get handkerchiefs to wipe the tears from their face.
We like both steal like a flower off of like a table in our teeth.
That's right.
Like trade it back and forth like in a tango.
And some people talk about it tonight, but it's really a trend that starts to take place, this season and the next season. But people really start to sing the praises of like the womanly bond, And so in the future, with 5 races, it's going to be very, very vogue for, women to have like, their own side lady with their husbands and whatnot. And so, Yuri, basically, girl love, is going to be very in vogue in Montaigne for the rest of the campaign. So, congratulations.
Okay, no problem.
You exalted the
that
virtues.
patriarchy.
That's right. Damn right.
I mean, Selena would be all for that anyway.
But yeah, in the coming future, many noble ladies are going to start taking mistresses and girlfriends. It's going to be crazy. Montaigne's going through a revolution. Oh, maybe not the best words to use.
Yeah.
Oh. And obviously, not to Armand quite yet, but his deck of cards starts vibrating again as we we find out that Selena is the tarot card, the Devil, for whatever reason. That might become apparent soon. But yeah, are you any information you want from Selena as you guys are changing?
I mean, totally. I mean, we're like, all right, well, will he be willing to apply to help fund the Musketeers, or help further our goals?
She's like, yeah, if it suits his own goals.
Well,
the 2,000 guilder were sort of the donation to the Musketeers.
What was that? Oh yeah, I mean the 2,000 is nice,
but I kind of want more.
And obviously we can sell it to him.
She gives you a bright smile, and as the dance comes to a flourishing end, she leans in and gives you a nice romantic kiss right on those lips. And she disengages from the kiss and says, I promised my husband for 2,000 guilder we'd kiss. Gives you a wink.
Well, as the lady wishes.
And we are escorted to Armand, who is being seated next to Henri. The nobleman Henri. Oh yeah, we dance. We move away from our Dance with the Devil special map. Goodbye. And Henri gives a bow. As gives a bow as he can do from sitting down. As you approach him, you see that one of his legs is weirdly bent to one side, and he has a cane, and that's why he don't dance. But he bids you to sit down.
So Armand will have a seat. Bid the gentleman good evening.
Good evening, good evening. Sorry you don't get to dance with any spicy ladies tonight. But I saw your dance with Anne, and may I say, it was beautiful.
Armand chuckles a bit. I don't know about beautiful, but thank you.
So He takes a drink for himself and then passes one over to you, as he just has like a servant constantly refreshing his glass. And he says, "So, you're quite poor, right?"
I like to think I have what I need, but I suppose," he looks around the room, "by some standards, yes, quite poor."
And he smiles. He says, "Do you have any tragic stories of your destitute lifestyle?"
Ah, waves rather disarmingly. What's to tell? A street orphan in Charus does what one can to make a living.
And he smiles. He says, "I think everybody needs a tragic tale. I think that's what makes people who they are." And he sits up and leans over the table with great interest. He says, "May I tell you my tragic tale?"
Armand takes a sip of his drink. But of course.
When I was a mere child, I was very sick. He pauses and goes, "Sicker than I am today. And I suffered from terrible insomnia. I could never sleep. So every night I would get out of bed, I'd go to my balcony on the lower levels, and I would look up on my father, who every night would take out his pipe and sit on the balcony on the top tower, and he would smoke a pipe full of tobacco. And on my balcony on the lower level, I would just sit there and watch him until he finally went back inside. And then I would do the same. Then one day, when I was 9 years old, I came out, and my father was out on that balcony, as always, smoking his pipe. And then, from the rooftop, leapt a young lady. She jumped on the balcony with my father, and with a knife in her hand, she grabbed his head, and she slit his throat right open, and bent him over the banister. And then with a flourish, as if she knew I was watching, she jumped from the balcony and made her way off into the night. And there I stood, watching as the blood trickled down from his throat, down to the ground below, like some sort of morbid waterfall." He raises his finger. "And ever since then, I have been fascinated with assassins." And he leans in a little further. He can't really go much further. He goes, "I've become, very aware of them. Suffering such tragedy." He points to you to make his point. "I used to work for the last Musketeer captain, actually. I'd follow him around to places. I'd tell him if there was an assassin present or not, because I'm so keen on that. And I guarantee you, had he not fired me, Captain Robert would still be alive, and he would not have been, assassinated."
Armand has been sort of frowning at the tragic tale. Looks around the room. So, raises an eyebrow. "Are we safe this evening?"
He gives you a smile and he says, "No, monsieur. There is an assassin with us as we speak." And he says, "I cannot speak as to who he targets, but I know he lurks the ball. Already his plan going to work." He looks around for Renee. He said, "Your dark-skinned friend told me to tell him, but he is presently absent."
Indeed.
And he crosses his... he takes one hand, lifts his leg over, crosses it with his other leg, sits back in his chair, steeples his fingers, and he says, "And with that information, I bid you adieu."
Armand drains the last bit of his brandy, hands the empty to the servant with a nod, and stands, gives a slight bow. Many thanks. I shall be vigilant.
And zap, another face on your deck of tarot cards appears. It is Henri Duval as the Wheel of Fortune, which, represents both good fortune and bad fortune, and that all things in life are random. But the Sphinx who sits at the top of the tarot reminds us that through man's logic and animal instincts, our fortunes are ultimately in our own control. And so while this goes on, Sabine has having a truly romantic speech. She just got kissed, and up walks a lady looking like Bjork at the Academy Award. You know the one. The swan dress. Classy Bjork. Anyway, this lady in a white feathery dress approaches you, and she raises a hand, and then lowers a hand across the.
I want to totally, interrupt it and grab her hand as I take it to kiss the back of it. I'm like, oh, I was. Forgive me, mademoiselle, as I take off the mask, but I saw you from a distance when I first entered, and I couldn't think of how to properly approach you. So I wanted to be a bit playful and coy and hope to gain your attention in a more roundabout way.
And she blushes and goes, "Oh, well, all you had to do was ask."
Yes, but this is Montaigne. One must never directly ask. It is the game.
The great game, some might.
Yeah, it's not Fadachi, but
Selena's like, I don't know. And she goes, "Oh,
so do you want me to roll to see if this actually lands, or?"
No, I like it.
Okay.
If you want to roll, you can.
I mean, I like your. Well, I'll spend I could always spend. It's getting late, so I could just spend that hero point. That fascinate.
So fascinate. Everybody else are like.
Or I'm gonna inspire generosity in her.
No.
She's gonna give me something.
Hey, you know what? Keep the mask. She walks off.
All right.
All right, Armand. Ball's in your court.
Well, Armand will make his way to Sabine when she is not otherwise engaged, and will stand beside her and appear to have a very light-hearted conversation, looking around the ball as he relays the news that there is a suspected assassin on the premises.
How exciting! So what do you have? What's the plan?
Well, at this point, we don't have much of a plan. We do not know who the assassin is.
Well, then obviously we need to get to work. Have you told Leon? And
Actually, it was sort of the other way around. Leon had the gentleman inform me.
No,
Or was it
Renee.
Renee had him inform me. That's right. So no, we must tell Leon.
All right then. With your leave, my lady.
Of course.
It's like, kiss the back of her hand. Pull away slowly. All right. So, all right. Let's, we reconnoiter. Share information.
And
No, reconvene. That's the word I was thinking of.
I was like, what
I
did he
think
just
both
say?
work.
I mean, reconnoiter works after we reconvene.
So all you know is that there's supposedly an assassin. You don't know who they're targeting.
That is correct.
Sabine, if you would talk to Anne while Armand and I look for anything suspicious, I guess. Let Anne know, find out who she thinks, who, in her opinion, the target would be, etc.
Okay.
Since you're better at getting information out of people than I.
Ah, I see. You're playing to strengths. You're learning.
Leon's a very smart boy. He's a mensch.
So I guess that'll be what we do unless anybody has any better ideas.
I don't know. That seems like a good idea.
Because I'm pretty sure Anne would take it amiss if we were to cancel her party.
No, obviously not. We have to catch the perpetrator in the act, then chase them, if they run, obviously, or fight them here.
Obviously.
Okie doke. So Sabine goes up to Anne, who's canoodling with some of the rich and famous.
Canoodling. All right. And now I, beckon her over.
Yes, what wait, she's
All right,
southern, I forgot.
approach her for a sudden dance where I can, relay the information and, appraise her. And it's like, so, who do you think could possibly be the target of such a heinous act?
Well, I dare say it's none of my guests, 'cause they are all complete losers. Mostly. Either myself, Jean-Marie, or perhaps either the Beaumonts are pretty influential. Or, of course, my sister, Louise. She's
but
present, but
have
making herself scarce.
Who would gain from their deaths?
Well, anybody who's not happy with the military would obviously target damn, Jean-Marie. I'd definitely go with him as the the target. He's very important.
Yeah. Yes, but rather hard to assassinate with how skilled he is.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose my my sister Dominique could benefit from killing both me and Louise off, because other than that, she'd be the next in line. As all my other sisters have abdicated the throne. Well, that doesn't sound like her.
No. So a number of people.
Yeah. Turns out people in Montaigne make enemies.
Well, very well. Thank you very much for the information.
And try to keep this under wraps if you can.
Well, obviously, darling.
Obviously, alright. See ya.
Kiss, kiss.
Mwah, mwah. Gives you a spin. Disengages from the dance. We reconvene. With Leon and Armand.
Yep.
I see. So, do you think you'd be capable of getting them together and keeping them in all of the potential targets in a group, Sabine? Can you fascinate them well enough?
I don't think that is likely, and I don't have enough hero points to do such a thing.
Could you come hither 3 people in a row?
No. I think we need to rule out some of the targets. Like, I doubt any of the Emperor's daughters are targets. Jean-Marie, not a target. I mean, out of game, I think maybe that judge could be a target, but I don't know. It seems a bit like Louise wants him gone, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like she would hire an assassin to take this dude out.
Not after asking Pierre to do it in a non-violent fashion, because that just put a suspicion on her. And, we forgot about Pierre. I guess we should inform him.
What? I've been here the whole time, guys. I'm in it. I'm with you.
All right.
He's so very sad. He is so very sad. Sadly, I don't have like the full list in front of me of all the possible targets. Only the people to know.
No, you got it. Javier was the only other one that she suspected.
Well, you know, I can keep an eye. I can obviously keep an eye on Javier.
All right.
All right, that's Renee's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that. I guess we can ask the captain to sit close to Louise. Who else did we have? The Dermonds. And was there anyone besides that?
Who, the Durants?
Yeah, there's the Durants.
Well, they don't matter.
Sabine's like, just let them die, please.
Well, we can't let a spectacle happen, so we have to keep our eyes out. The end.
But if they die, you know, it happens.
Yes, Armand, would you rather attempt to...
I'll keep an eye on Javier and the Durants.
No, we can have Armand keep an eye on either the Durants or Louise.
Well, I've already interacted with
yes,
Leon.
but do they all get along?
Leon and his sister, yes, they get along splendidly.
With Javier? Will he be able to keep them together? Because we have to think we will have moments to react. Will he be able to stop a knife to any of the 3 of them?
Of course, I'm very good at throwing.
Stop a knife, not throw a knife.
Yes. I can throw a knife into the other knife, knocking it out of his hand, therefore stopping the knife.
Okay. You're missing the point that we have...
Less arguing, more agreeing, and let's get to work.
We have the 2 royals, we have the cousins, and we have Javier. Those are all the targets. You don't have to take 3 of 5.
As long as I can keep my eye on them, that's all that matters, right?
Armand, go insinuate yourself.
Fine.
I'll watch Louise.
But remember... No, sorry, Armand, just how you're dressed, and they hate the peasantry.
Oh. Okay, then Armand, go hang around near Louise. You're a peasant. You're allowed to make social faux pas. Pierre, continue lurking.
Will do, boss. Like the shadows, he's gone.
And I guess I'll go awkwardly introduce myself to the Dermonds. Sabine,
All right then.
you can go flirt, I guess.
Wow. Wow, honey. Slap. Playing up. Go back to my.
So who are you introducing yourself to, Leon?
The Dermans.
Yeah, Leon Durant. Durant. Leon and Leon.
Hey, hello there.
Hello. I'm completely blanking. I was wondering if I could. Figured I would come over and introduce myself to you and your lovely sister.
Oh, sure, I get you, pal. Gives you a wink. And Joe will actually have to help me out here. What's the sister's name?
Rosetta.
Rosetta, come here for a second. I wish to introduce you to, what was your name?
Leon Nicolay.
No fucking way. My name's Leon. Oh my god. Rosetta, come here. This dude's name's Leon. Leon Nicolay. This is my sister Rosetta. Charmed, I'm sure. There's two people. This is my girl voice. Hey. She gives you her hand.
Bow over at kiss her hand. Indeed I am. Blah, blah, blah. And, small talk. Just try to impose without imposing.
Of course. Hey, Rosetta, I'd be careful. I've seen this guy dancing with all manner of women today. You might just be another notch on his belt. She goes, oh, that wouldn't be so bad. Gives you a wink. You know,
I'm afraid.
I'm gonna spend a danger point. She's gonna use come hither.
I'm going to, you know what, I'm just going to use my, where is it? What's it called again? Who was there? Trusting. I'm just going to go along with it.
So, first day on the job, our brave sergeant
Just delightful.
exits stage left to collect a pair of panties and a hero point while he's at it.
I don't know if he collects anything.
And Armand
more
is going
about-
to protect Lady Louise.
Yes, he will
This
blend into the background somewhere.
was this the Louise du Montaigne or Louise du Beaufort?
Oh.
Very important distinction.
Well, we hadn't discussed that. I think Louise du Montaigne is probably a more likely.
I wasn't
don't
aware
know.
there was two. I wasn't aware there were two Louises.
Well, and the other one, the one that Armand is smitten with, is not exactly a revolutionary, but a free thinker. So it's possible someone could want her gone.
I guess it's up for Armand now.
I mean, Armand, what's your, do you have a hubris that could totally play into this?
Curious.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he doesn't protect either and he just starts searching around.
Searching for the assassin? I feel like, I know it draws you into trouble.
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the two Louises doing?
Let's see. Louise Beaufort is, of course, working the room because she has to get funding for her goddamn chateau that she runs, while Louise du Montaigne is sitting at the nicest table, just full of people and talking to all of them.
I guess Louise de Beaufort is in a higher risk situation. I mean, the assassin would have to kill the royal at a table full of admirers. So I guess Armand is skulking around after Louise de Beaufort while also trying to keep somewhat of a weather eye on Louise de Montaigne.
Okie doke. So at some point she's like, "Oh my good, Armand, come here right now."
And he does.
Would you kindly explain while you are, she makes air quotes, skulking me right now?
And Armand sighs, looks around, and explains to her the situation. Mademoiselle, we have reason to believe that there is an assassin.
And she gasps and she's like, "What the shit? An assassin? You guys know there's an assassin right now? And you haven't told anybody?"
We are slowly spreading the word to those who need to know, mademoiselle.
Oh boy.
And she's going to lift up her skirt and say, "Well, good day to you." And she starts to trek out the room. And then I will say, then it happens. All at once, you guys notice it on the third floor, the balconies that are sectioned off. You see a figure. You see a figure up in the balcony. It's a sniper, and you have 1 round to put an end to that. So I guess let me hear some approaches, boys.
All right, well, quick draw a throwing dagger from underneath my skirt as I just gonna toss it up to try to knock the rifle off, knock off the aim, disrupt the aim. Yeah,
Sweet. Yeah.
even if it gets near the dude, it could be surprised enough to throw him off.
Okay. I'd say that would be
aim and
Yeah.
finesse probably.
I'd say there'd be 2 raises for specifically aiming at the gun, and then for a 3rd raise you could make it stealthy.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see, 5, 6, 7. I'll spend my last hero point. 8. Two, 3. Roll. Ooh, pretty good. 1, 2, 4 raises total.
Yay! 1 to spare.
All right.
Who was
Do you
our
want
assassin
to
aiming
set
at?
anybody up for something?
Oh yeah, I want to create an opportunity. To I want the dagger jammed into the shaft, the barrel. That's what it's called, the barrel of the musket.
Okay. Sounds good for me. As Sabine quick as a cat-like feline, grabs a hold of that dagger, and like with an underhanded toss behind a waiter, just throws that dagger right down the barrel of the musket.
And you had a question, Armand?
Can we tell where the sniper was? Who he was aiming at?
That could be an approach.
Oh, that could be.
Or an opportunity based off an approach.
He actually had his I'll just say it. He had his gun up at the ceiling. It looked like he wasn't possibly wasn't aiming at anybody just yet.
Fair enough.
Or he was aiming at the ceiling for whatever weird reason.
Well, now that's possible. He could have been preparing to drop one of the big pieces of glass on the.
That's actually. That's like a Dark Brotherhood method of killing someone. Oh yeah, and Leon's out of it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Leon. I completely forgot about that. No, of course.
Well, that's what Come Hither does.
Yeah.
Taken out of the scene. He may be rescued later.
It's fine.
Yeah, we cut to a really steamy sex scene right now. Just a real slow pan on Leon's butt as it awkwardly thrusts into.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's how you took it. I thought she just drugged him, but.
Okay, well, Armand will try to inconspicuously make his way to that balcony without alarming the crowd, but as quickly as possible.
Okie doke.
Maybe a finesse hide?
Sounds good to me.
And he manages 3 raises.
Sweet. One simple raise to remain concealed, and then you. Yeah, you encroach on this here assassin. He's currently just like kind of freaking out as a knife just like got thrown down a musket barrel. So he's fighting Bullseye. But he looks familiar, Armand. He looks... You can't quite place it. He looks, You describe him as very, like, nondescript. His clothing, it's not very, you know... He just looks like the sort of person you could forget about very easily. Pierre comes out of the shadows. No, it's not me. He, like, goes back into the... Come on, everybody remembers Pierre. Remember that $10,000 donation that he won at the auction? It's crazy. So, what would you, I guess what would you like to do with those 2 sneaky races that you have left over?
Well, let's see if we can sneak up behind the assassin.
Yeah, sure. That's where he would, you had 3 races, and one of them was just to sneak up on him, so you've done it. You're there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you accomplished the task, but you get to do extra stuff now.
Okay.
You could take that knife that Sabine hooked you up with. You could, I don't know, spook him, whatever you want.
Take his gun out of his hands.
Yeah.
Sure. He had a musket, I assume, if he was a sniper.
He did.
Okay, so let's try and take his musket and maybe clout him with it.
Yeah, perfect. That's this is supposed to just be a very a very simple thing for you guys to come across. So with 2 raises, you take that rifle, throw it into his head. He falls against the banister, and he's like, "Oh, I surrender." He wasn't ready for this, man. As he kind of just, throws his hands in the air and is perfectly willing to cooperate with whatever comes next.
Okay, well, what would come next would be to try and remove him from the grand ballroom without alarming the crowd below.
Already? Yeah. I assume like Sabine comes running up the soonest chance she gets.
Of course.
Are you keeping Overwatch, so if he leaves his possession, you can give suppressive fire?
Easy ways to tie him up. I've got things, ribbons, and we can tie him up.
Yeah, you're wearing a rope harness under your clothing, I believe. Is specifically what Anne asked for, so that's fine. Yep, you guys get him tied up and outside the ballroom, and in comes Leon fixing his belt buckle as we transition to a new scene.
So, is this the assassin?
It is an assassin.
We are under the assumption that he's the assassin. We don't know if there's more than one. Did you see anyone?
No.
Nope.
No assassins, at least.
That's a very distinct perfume. Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Hey, he was guarding the Durant. It's fine.
Eyes narrow, but slight smirk. Like, good for you, I guess.
So, let's hand this guy over to some of the guards, and I guess let Anne know the party should go on just fine now.
And when you say let's go call the guards, you hear oh, don't worry, that won't be necessary. And out from the ballroom you see Louise de Montaigne coming over to you guys. And she smiled at you guys and she said, you guys performed very well. And she walks up to the prisoner, and suddenly you recognize him. Now he's next to her. That's the man she walked into the ballroom with when she entered. And she says, will one of you cut his binds, please?
Snip.
She goes, merci. And she takes his hand and helps him up to his feet. And she whispers something into his ear, and he gives a nod and starts to walk away from the chateau, as it were.
So you set this up, I'm guessing?
I don't know what you're talking about. She gives you a smile and says, now I suggest you all return to your ball. It's very rude to leave leave when you are the guest of honor.
As you wish.
Armand looks suspicious, but gives a bow.
And she
Well,
gives a bow to Armand. Smiles.
I'll
Come now, Leon. Come now. Best get back to our duties.
Leon will let Sabine lead him off. Just this slight tense to his fist and a little bit of an angry face.
Pick your battles, darlings. Pick your battles.
Armand writes it off to the foibles of the nobles.
I will go report to Anne who it was who hired the assassin.
Oh.
And who the assassin was.
Oh, Leon, you think you had a vein popping out of your forehead. When you tell Anne about that, she, just turns red as a tomato, and she's like, an assassin come to ruin my ball.
We told Anne about it. Anne knew about it already. We told her we were going to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she specifically knows who set it up now.
Yeah. Sister stuff.
And she takes a sigh and says, well, thank you all for preventing anything unnecessary. And we all take a moment of silence to contemplate just what it is that Louis de Montaigne had planned for this ball. But luckily, we don't have to think about it too hard. And for our final scene of the day, it's after the party. Everybody has their collars loosened and their ties around their necks and/or foreheads. Renee is God knows where. Leon still smells like perfume. Who knows? But it's you 5 or you 4. Counting Pierre, Sir Jean-Marie and Anne are getting ready to head home for the night, as you guys have been forced to stick around to the very end of the party. So some of you are very drunk, and some of you are just very tired of dancing. But Jean-Marie escorts a fat, bald man in some very fine clothing and sits him down next to you guys. And he says, now, my men, I'm off to go home, but I wish you to meet a very important man who wishes to request your help for a certain endeavor. And by request, I mean, of course, fill you in on what's going on, because I've already agreed to help him out. Farewell, and I shall see you all bright and early in the morning tomorrow. He gives a salute, heads off with Anne. And this fat old man introduces himself as Duke Andre Orsino. No. Duke Andre Orsino. I already said. Get it together, Armin. And so he sits down heavily on his chair, as a fat man would, and he says, what does he say? I've come here today to throw myself at the mercy of the Musketeers. I have a task that I require your assistance in, and I hope that the 4 of you, including Pierre, my favorite Musketeer, put it there, Pierre. The 2 of them fist bump. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was hoping that you would hear me out in my my plea for help, if you would.
But of
Go
course-
ahead, sir.
And he says, bandits are ravaging my territory, and I've already sent all my capable men to fight in Castile, and with my boys gone, I have nobody to combat this ill monstrosity plaguing my land. And I was hoping that the Musketeers would find it in their heart to take pity on an old man and save his lands from their ravaging. Hmm?
Well,
Well,
where are your lands, sir?
His lands are in southern Montaigne, right along the border of Castile.
a lovely place.
Well, sir, it looks like we will be down there shortly. As the captain said, we will indeed assist.
And with a jolly nod, he thanks thee and stands to his feet with great effort. Heads off. And there you go. There's session 2, which was a lot of introduction of characters. Oh yeah, this guy is the I didn't put him on the map. For one final person, dear Armand, your tarot cards light up and indicates that Duke Adrian Orsino is the second or the first arcana. He is the Road, which represents the start of a long and fruitful journey. And there we go. And I will stop the stream right now.